Life in a gated community is supposed to mean peace, security, and friendly neighbors. That's what my wife and I expected when we moved in. What we didn't count on was dealing with someone like Karen, a woman whose hobby seemed to be making everyone else miserable in the name of neighborhood safety. My wife Lila is quiet, composed, and extremely private. She works long hours, sometimes at odd times of the day, and doesn't engage in the HOA gossip or the community mixers. That alone made her suspicious in Karen's eyes. But what really set things off? Lila's choice of attire, always professional, sometimes in tactical gear, and her routines, purposefully vague. That combination apparently screamed spy to Karen. Ironically, she was sort of right, but had no idea how right. The first accusation. It started one Tuesday morning. I was sipping coffee on the front porch when I noticed Karen pacing on the sidewalk, watching our house like a hawk. Lila had just pulled out of the driveway, headed to her undisclosed federal site. Karen strutted up the path, lips pursed like she'd bitten a lemon. "Is everything all right, Karen?" I asked, already bracing for nonsense. "I don't want to alarm you," she said dramatically, "but your wife was acting very suspicious this morning." I blinked. Suspicious? She was wearing boots, military-looking ones, and she left at 5:30 a.m. What is she hiding? "She works in federal security." Karen leaned in. "Federal, like FBI?" I smiled. "Something like that." "Well, I've already sent photos to the HOA. We don't want that kind of behavior around here. People are concerned." Things escalate. Over the next week, Karen went into overdrive. She reported Lila for loitering near our own mailbox. She filed a noise complaint when Lila came home late and closed the car door too firmly. She even claimed Lila intimidated her by wearing sunglasses while walking to the trash bin. Lila, to her credit, didn't even flinch. She's used to far worse in her line of work. What Karen didn't know was that Lila works for a classified Homeland division that handles threat assessments and covert site security. Her clearance? Level 5 Homeland access, the kind where her ID sets off red flags, even in federal buildings. She'd been briefed, vetted, background checked, and authorized at a level Karen couldn't even pronounce. The day Karen crossed the line. It all came to a head when Lila returned home from a 3-day security audit in another state. She was still in her government-issued gear when she parked in front of the house. I heard the commotion before I could even reach the door. Karen was outside, phone in hand, filming my wife like she was catching a fugitive. "You can't park here. You're not even supposed to be here. We've never seen proof of residency," Karen shouted. Lila stood silently, letting her rant play out. That's her training. Let them reveal themselves. Then Karen lunged forward and grabbed Lila's arm. Bad move. In one swift motion, Lila sidestepped, de-escalated the grab, and held Karen at arm's length. Not aggressively, just enough to stop the contact. That's when I walked out and called, "Everything okay?" Karen spun around furious. "I'm calling the cops. This woman just assaulted me." That's when Lila calmly removed her credentials from her inner vest pocket. The moment Karen saw the emblem, Department of Homeland Security, Level 5 clearance, her expression drained of all color. "You've been filming and physically harassing a federal security officer," Lila said flatly. "This entire interaction is now part of a federal incident log." Karen stammered, I didn't know." "That's the problem," Lila said. "You don't ask. You just assume." The fallout. Local police showed up. Karen tried to play the victim, but after seeing Lila's credentials and reviewing footage from our door camera, they sided with Lila completely. No charges were filed against my wife, but Karen was issued a warning for harassment and assault. We filed an official complaint with the HOA board and presented the security footage. They were mortified. It turns out Karen had a history of similar behavior, but this was the first time someone with federal credentials had been involved. Karen was formally reprimanded and removed from her self-appointed safety patrol duties. Since then, she's been noticeably quieter, and she avoids our house entirely. The takeaway. Assumptions are dangerous, especially when made out of fear and ignorance. Karen let prejudice and power fantasies lead her into embarrassing, possibly criminal behavior. Lila didn't retaliate. She didn't flaunt her badge. She just let the facts and her training speak for themselves. Sometimes the strongest people are the quietest ones. And sometimes the person you're harassing might be someone protecting the very country you're living in.